Hello, 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 friends. If you're watching this replay, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I love to hang out here on YouTube and Periscope Tuesdays and Thursdays most weeks to support my fellow survivor thrivers on the healing journey after neglect, abuse, or trauma. So if you'd like to learn more about the services that I offer through my books, they're available on Amazon or Kindle, or about my coaching, please visit my website, svavabrooks.com. But if you are here live, right here, right now, my friends, please say hello. Please let me know that you're here so I can welcome you, so I can say hello and celebrate you. And also just to let people know, I have Periscope and YouTube going on right now. If you are on Periscope and like to jump over on YouTube to join the group chat, I have now added in on my profile on Periscope a link to my YouTube channel. So please feel to check that out. Let's see, we have a quick question over here on Periscope. Let me see here. I'm sorry, friend, I didn't talk to my sister because you're grown up now. Well, I don't know enough to make a comment or a judgment on that. But I know it's hard when we disconnect from people that we have stayed close to in our lives. Families are especially hard sometimes. Good. I'm glad to hear you guys are talking now. And maybe you can ask your sister. I hear you. Maybe there is some questions that you have. So if you feel safe to ask your sister about some questions about that, that would be very helpful, maybe even for both of you. So, and be gentle with yourself. Sometimes when we have a fallout with family members, sometimes it's just good to take a little break. It was childhood. Yeah, exactly. But it's also important if we can find a way to be heard. No matter how things have turned out, if we can just find a way to be heard, that helps us so much. Right? Because no one can go back in the past and undo things that were done or said, but we can do our best to sit and listen and to support and acknowledge each other. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for asking. Let's see. You're very welcome, my friend. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you asked. Hey, Rob. Hey, friends. How are you doing? Wanda. Sharon is here. Hey, Rachel, good to see you. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down. Hey, Sue, glad you're here. Hey, friend. Yay. So what's new and good? What's new and good? Yes, I'm glad you're here. This is a public service announcement, a warning, because once you hang out with us, right, you tend to get hooked. So so you've been warned. We have lots of fun, and of course in this space, so much love. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. You like my banded handkerchief? Well, I'm super excited to be wearing it. I'm getting lots of compliment on that today. So I guess this is my new look. And I'm happy to share, right? It's a scarf that I've owned for a long time and kind of pulled it out to wear it again. And then seeing how I can wear it, because you guys know I have a couple of fur babies that have gotten into chewing some of my clothing. So I'm seeing how I can wear it by tucking away some of the holes that my cats have lovingly left in my favorite scarf. So anyways. Hey, Sue, I'm so glad that you're here. So glad you're asking. Sue is asking, am I sharing too much? I've been posting answers every day, and I was wondering if we are supposed to. Well, Rob beat me to it. He's answering your question. He says, I love how you write with such feeling and empathy. Great to have you in the gang. Yes, yes, absolutely. And thank you for asking, Wanda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me finish up answering Sue's question. Absolutely not, Sue. It's not too much. Share away. We love it when people write out and share their journal entries in the group. This is your space. If you have the time and the energy to write every single day, more power to you. We have all busy lives. So I understand when not everybody can post every single day, but we love seeing your shares. And as you can see, it's, you know, some days there's more than others. So all good, all good. So I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. And thank you, Wanda. I was feeling bad because I meant, yes, Rachel, the journal entries are in the Facebook group. Yes, right? We get a lot out of writing. Absolutely. It's so important. Put it out there. So basically, I post the page of the day from our book. And then in the Facebook group, people are writing their journal entries for the questions or reflection on the page of the day. And then when we are here together, people give me permission to share. And that also is always optional. So yes, Wanda, back to Roxy. I meant to share this last Thursday. Sorry, guys. Needed to take a personal self-care last Thursday. But yes, we got the good news back. I think it was late Wednesday, sometime during Thursday, that Roxy is cancer-free. It was cancerous tumor that they cut. So, but we were so excited to hear she's getting her stitches out tomorrow, and she is all good. She's all good. So, right, we are all so excited with those news because, as we all know, in this phase, our fur babies are our babies. Yes, exactly. So we are so relieved. So that poor dog has been through enough. Yes. Thank you, Wanda. Yes, I've been sharing that privately with a few of you, and I completely, I know Elisa posted it somewhere as well, but did not mean to withhold such good news. So anyway, so that's all good. So what's new and good in your world? Yes, I have been getting to meet even more fur babies from a few of our friends here in this space. So shall we check in on the weather today? No, I don't think so. I think we're going to go dive right in, right? Are we ready? Topic of the day. So even if you're not in the Facebook group, that's A-okay. I'm going to comment and share a little bit about the topic. And then I'll post a couple of questions here into our space. And then feel free to share. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts. And this is a good one. Today's a good topic. Brings out the joy in me, at least. So Sue says, beautiful weather in Southern California. Yeah, I hear you. We're in Southern California. I was in San Diego for about 25 years. Believe it or not, we moved to Oregon because we missed the weather. But lately, with all the rain here in Portland, I'm definitely making sure that I'm getting my vitamin D in every day because it's been so cloudy and raining so much, and even parts of Oregon that are flooding. So freezing in Southern England. Sue, you're in Anaheim near Disneyland. Ooh, not too far from San Diego. Yes, Rob, who knows? Maybe we'll set up a play date with Roxy, Rob. Let's see. Miss Sharon says, I completed my second job orientation. I start training February 14th. Woohoo, on Valentine's Day. Nice. That's a good day to start. That's a good day for start. Right, Rachel? Congratulations. Just asked to be a designer for a client's second book. Thankful for work. Beautiful. That's awesome, Rachel. Congratulations. Sending sunshine and love to England. Thank you. It's been hanging dry in Portland, Oregon. A little bit of sunshine this morning, but then it's been overcast since. But so we'll take any sunshine and we'll take any love. This is the space also where we send freely love out into the universe, because we are all connected, my friends. We are all connected. We can feel it. Thank you. As speaking of hearts, thank you for those beautiful purple hearts here on Periscope. Let's see. So today we are on day 42 of the year. Playtime is an important aspect of the healing journey. I bet you don't do enough of it. Who can relate? I actually was looking back as I was reading through this and thinking about this for today. It's almost like I can remember the time when I stopped playing. Hey, friend. It's important to play as an adult. You didn't have that luxury as an abused or abandoned or neglected child. But it's never too late, right? We can give ourselves permission to do it now. So the two questions I asked in the group, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Why is it hard for you to allow yourself the time to play and have fun? And the second question is, if someone gave you an hour every day just to play, what fun thing would you do in that hour? So I'd love to hear from you guys, but just a quick, let's see, by show of hands, like who can look back on their childhood and recognize, yeah, there wasn't enough play growing up. Most of us had to grow up way too soon, right? And when it wasn't safe, thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Sue. There you go. Sharon says, I'm putting 1,000-piece puzzle together right now. Is that play? Yes. If it brings you joy, my friend, that's it. If it brings you joy, then that is play. Rob says, I did a lot of staying in and playing and being alone. I hear you. And our friend here on Periscope, the Traveler, says, I will play tennis with my friends or badminton. Awesome. I used to play badminton growing up. And Rachel says, I was just thinking today, it's been a long time since I have acted silly and really had a belly laugh. Whew. Yes, I hear you, Rachel. Aren't those awesome? Some good belly laughs. Those are actually, they work as trauma release, I believe. They do. They release a lot of tension. So Sue says, I wasn't allowed to be a kid. So yes. Well, here's the good news, my friends. You know, we've hung out for a while here, a few of us. So you guys know that I don't take myself too seriously right now or these days. Thank goodness. But yeah, like most of us, I grew up pretty fast, and being silly wasn't always safe. Friends, and those belly laughs are contagious. Yes, they are. Yeah, and a number of occasions, actually, in the past, I have done some karaoke for you guys. I know that's gotten a few giggles out of you guys. It's been a while. Maybe it's time that I put on some YouTube music here and start to sing for you, because that definitely gets people laughing. So, but what I've also learned to do is to be intentional about that. You know, not the same kind of humor works for everybody. For real, Rob, that's right. Yeah, that dancing at a retreat last year, that was amazing. That was so much fun. First soprano, nice, nice. I'm sure we would sound amazing if we all just created our little Release Your Authentic Self choir. Now that's a thought. That's a thought. What I was saying here is that, like, there's different things that make us, that we think are funny. And so sometimes I will, when I feel like I need a little laugh, I will go on to social media and those. And actually, Donna, if Donna's not here today, but a lot of the videos that Donna shares about animals, about silly animals or what animals are doing, those make me laugh. Those make me really happy. So I didn't think about it for a long time, but actually there's something that I could do about bringing more laughter and joy into my life. Because, yep, growing up, after a while, I stopped, being as silly. And also what tended to happen in my household, my stepfather sometimes would be the clown, and he would get us all laughing and being silly. But then in the middle of that, he would then do something abusive. And it was scary. So it kind of created a little trauma around being silly. So it took me quite some time to, I think, recover and restore being okay with play with being silly. So I just also wanted to share a quick quote before I turn to some thoughts rather about playtime. Before I turn to our members' comments, I was looking on Facebook today, and some of you may have seen the post that play is the very best research. The very best research. But here's some more. It says, playtime is precious. Play builds brain. It builds brain pathways for thinking, for creativity, for flexibility, for empathy, and many other lifelong skills. So I am a huge fan and believer in play and playtime. My silliness was a rebellion too, says Rob. I find you hilarious, Wanda. You got away with saying and quick wit that makes me happy. Yes, I agree, Rob. There is a lot of humor. And that's what I love about our space here. When we hang out together, there's plenty of laughter, plenty of silliness, which is important because this is a difficult and hard topic. So playing a little bit makes it easier. So my friend Rob, I don't see a share on your comment. So please, if you want to give me heads up. But I am going to share Donna's comment. So the question was, why is it hard for you to allow yourself the time to play and have fun? And the second question is, if someone gave you an hour every day just to play, what fun thing would you do in that hour? And Donna says here, excuse me, she says, I like to play, but I always feel guilty. And she says, shame in parentheses, because it's indulgent and unimportant, question mark. Real adults do important, meaningful, money-earning activities. Which part is that regularly reminds you that being good at playing is exactly why you're less than? Then she asks a question about the internal family system. Is that a firefighter or a manager, right? Is that part of us when I'm kind of commenting a little bit here, Donna, on your comment in terms of like, who is it that intervenes on when we do loosen up a little bit and start to play? The part of us our inner critic or our manager that is going to make sure we get back in line, that we do as we're told. Don't have too much fun. Don't be too silly, because you're only going to get in trouble, right? Then she says here, that part needs to be fired, or at very least, my internal human resource department needs to have a serious talk with those folks. I hear you. Absolutely, Wanda. Donna. I saw Wanda right below Donna's name here. So it's interesting to notice, right, what comes up for us when we allow ourselves to be a little silly. Right? It's, again, an important part of healing. Rachel says, I am way too serious, always in my head, trying to figure everything out. I'd like to find a way to give myself permission to loosen up and laugh. I hear you, my friend. Oh, I would go snow tubing if I had an hour to play. Ooh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. I've had some laughs snow tubing, mostly watching my kids going down on the bouncing on the snow tube. So don't know if my back or neck could handle it very well right now, but that sounds like fun, Rachel. So thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. And thank you, Donna. Thank you sharing that with us, right? That we are here and we should be doing important stuff, right? We should take life. And many of us were told growing up, right, that stop horsing around or monkeying around, whatever, get back to work, back to, whatever business was at hand. Not enough playtime, which is sad, because I think, it kind of takes away our curiosity, our exploration, I got a little squirrel moment here. Literally a squirrel outside my window caught my attention. So important to get back to daily a little bit of silly and playtime. So, and here on Periscope, me and colleague had a headstand challenge in the office the other day. That felt great. That's awesome. I love that. See, break up the routine a little bit, right? You're going to be way more effective, way more productive after you relax and play a little bit, for sure. Let's see, Wanda shares with us. She says, I hadn't really thought about it lately, but I don't play very much. It's not that I don't enjoy relaxing and simply having fun, but even in my playtime, it's more important to me that others are having fun. Interesting, Wanda. Interesting, right? I am not really sure why, even in play, others are put ahead of myself. She says, also, if I had an hour to play, an hour a day to play, I'm not quite sure what I would do. Maybe play with Dink, my fur baby. So interesting, Wanda, for you to maybe explore a little bit about what that is for you. Anybody else relate to that with Wanda when we are hanging out with other people? Is it more important that other people have fun, or are you like really invested in other people having fun, or are you just being present in the moment, enjoying yourself? Yes, Sue, I agree. Sometimes we just got to say, what the heck, and loosen up. Yep. YOLO. You got it, Sue. Depends if I'm responsible for the get together. Yes, Rachel, I was just waiting if someone would comment on that, right? if you're hosting the fun, or if you've invited or inspired, then all of a sudden, right, maybe there's a different expectation there, right? And our friend here on Periscope says, I like to fake that I am losing and then I strike back. That is more fun. Ooh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I can relate to that a little bit, but I used to be very competitive, and in our family, we play a lot of games. We play a lot of cards. I used to be very competitive, but as I got older, I'd play to play. I don't care if I win or lose. And sometimes I think that drive other people crazy that are competitive, because sometimes I will win, many times in a row, and I'm like, couldn't care less. It's okay. But other people are like upset about it. So we have fun. We have fun. Rachel says, if I invited people to go someplace or had people over, then I'm more concerned with them having a good time. I understand. Yeah, Sue says she can relate. I'm sure you're not alone in that. Absolutely. I definitely used to feel that way more, before, but I've come a long ways. So more about being part of the fun instead of like being out here monitoring the fun, making it mean that if not everybody was happy or enjoying it, that somehow I fell short. So, right. Wanda says, it doesn't matter for me. I must make sure everyone is included. I've been ignored, so it's important to include everyone. Thank you, Wanda. I hear you. So there is an important part of you, right? Since you know that experience, that you want to make sure that nobody else feels that. It's so you, Wanda, and that's why what we love about you, and we are so glad that you're here. And yes, exactly. Yes. And Sue says, I'm inviting everybody here for a play date. And Rachel says, I need healing in that area. It keeps me from having people over. The pressure to have my place look perfect, the food to be perfect, and to everyone have a good time. That kind of takes all the fun out of it, Rachel, doesn't it? Even though it is fun. I, used to love to host, and I still do. But again, it takes all the fun out of it. So I played Fortnite for 8 months for the sake of enjoyment, but played next 4 months being competitive. All right. But it was more fun when I was competitive. All right. Good for you. Good for you to know the difference there for you. Different things, make us tick. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But I think a little bit of caution when we are doing it. And we're being way too hard on ourselves. So I hear you, friend. The sad thing about trauma is that you have to be strong twice because people don't experience it. I hear you, friend. I do hear you. And that's right. Whilst you're going through it. Yes, I hear you. And that's why it's so important that we find people that have been through it, that are on the journey, that understand, where we don't have to explain over and over and over again what happened and how it made us feel and what we're struggling with. And then when we want to talk about some of those things again, right? We feel understood, we feel validated, we're seen, we're heard. Yes, I have been through trauma. Yes. Childhood abuse, physical, sexual, emotional abuse. And I'm here to share from my heart, my healing journey, and lift up anybody else that I can. If you are curious, I'm talking to our Periscope people right now, but if you're curious, on my Periscope profile is the link to the YouTube channel. If you want to come join, most of our tribe members are there engaging in the chat and conversation. So feel free to join there. And also, if you visit my website or look up some of my books on Amazon. So thank you. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good and grateful for every single day. Every good day we are grateful for. So thank you. Rachel says, I do wish we could have a meetup group on this topic in person. Well, Rachel, we have a date set for April next year to meet up in Texas. So we had our gathering list this past year in April. So we did have some fun. Yes. We did some dancing, and then we did some deep work, some healing work together. It was a blast. Sue says, you all have made me feel very validated, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Aw. Well, I'm so glad you're here. I always say, right, we always find the right people, or the right people find us, right? That's what happens. You just show up being you and see who wants to hang out. See who wants to hang out. There you go. There you go, Rob. I agree. So thank you, Wanda. Thank you for your beautiful share. So Rob says, thank you, Rob, for giving me permission to share your comment. He says here, I wonder if I find it hard to play because it means I have to let go of the rigid rules of behavior, aka hiding and self-protection. So I want to put that out to you guys, right? Hey, Mike. That's a good question, right? Those rigid rules of behavior that keep me safe. He goes on to say, I kind of do have unlimited time to play at the present, but money stymies most of my elaborate fun plans. I know that I really miss sports with my ex's son. Every day after work, he was mostly waiting for me to go to a park and play his current sport of favor, soccer, rugby, basketball, or my fave, tennis, for 3 to 4 hours straight. So I was used to very close companionship and ton of exercise. Oh, I can feel your heart in this one, my friend Rob. I'm so sorry that you don't have. That's what I love, playing with kids. They don't take themselves too seriously when they're out there playing. They're all in. They're all in, just doing whatever is fun and in the moment. And that's why I think tending to play for us is good, because it brings us into the present moment. It brings us into the present moment. But it can feel risky because of, being tapping into joy. It can feel, right? We have to be vulnerable. And being vulnerable, right? That's, I think, for most of us, we stop. Nope. Not doing that. I'm not going to be judged. I'm not going to be criticized. I'm not going to be told I'm doing this wrong. So, not doing this. Sitting on the sideline or going in and reading a book. I did a lot of that growing up too. Once I became an adolescent, teenager, I found my escape in reading. I read a lot. So thank you for sharing, Rob. Thank you for sharing. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And I appreciate, the questions that you're asking and reflecting on for yourself, because I do think some of that comes from us trying to stay safe. So But as we are healing, right, as we are getting in touch with our inner child, giving our child permission to come out and play. So that's been a very important part of my healing journey, doing the things that, like, my inner child, once I started reconnecting with her and asking her, spending quality time with her, asking her, what do you want? I grew up loving being in nature, growing up in Iceland. And she, till this day, she is the happiest when we're out, walking in nature, preferably rain. My inner child really likes the rain, actually. So I have some really fond memories walking the hills around my home in Iceland with our dogs. We always grew up with lots of dogs around. And that was also, I have some memories sitting on a top of a mountain and just sitting there and crying, sometimes not even really knowing why I was crying, but it felt good. Felt good. So I want to play in the rain. Yes. Yes, I do too. I used to love to play in the rain. So, hey, Allie, that's not important. I'm glad you're here. Feel free to join the conversation. So let's see, the next comment, next shares. That is Sue S. Sue says, my life is so busy with personal obligations, plus constantly taking, hey guys, I'm going to take my eyes off YouTube when I'm reading the comments. So can you guys moderate for me if needed? Team effort here. She says, plus I'm constantly doing things for other people and taking care of everyone else's problem that I don't have any extra time to have fun. I used to do that too, my friend. I do remember, and you are not alone. She goes on to say, even if I did have a few extra moments, I'd have a hard time convincing myself that the time should be spent on me doing something I might enjoy. I know I'm supposed to believe that I am worthy of good times and even joy, but I'm just not there yet. I hear you, my friend. She says, I know I would feel guilty for making time away from someone else just to make myself feel good. I do find bliss in making others happy in some ways. It is therapeutic for me. I don't mean the people who use me for their own selfish gain. I love caring for others and doing things to make them feel how precious they truly are, especially when they are going through a tough time. It is easy to get lost in painful experiences, and since I know exactly how that feels all too well, I go out of my way to bring others out of that funk and feel loved and even cherished. I am working on treating myself the way I do for others and knowing deep down that I deserve it. That child within me has wanted to come out and play for way too long. But the adult me knows responsibilities come first, and my community's needs far outweigh my own selfish desires. If someone were to give me an extra hour just to go have fun, and I could convince myself to go ahead and do it without shame or guilt, I would probably put on some great songs with awesome bass and dance, body permitting, like no one is watching. I would also love to go rollerblading with my granddaughters. Ooh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. So I hear you, Sue. Hey, friend. I hear you. Thank you, Wanda. So thank you. Right. Thank you, Wanda. Sue, I think we all struggle with that. You are not alone. Exactly. Exactly. But I think we have it a little backwards, my friend. If we look at right? Yes, it's important to take care of people around us, right? To lift up people when we can, but so much, in so many ways, especially when we have trauma, it has become the way that we can feel good about ourselves, right? Is to do, take care of others instead of maybe taking the time to really lift ourselves up. And I'm just pausing. I'm reading. Yes, absolutely. The child in you would enjoy it. Absolutely. It's never too late to take that little child out and go play. Absolutely. So, and that actually gets to heal that unmet need from, not having gotten that as children. So when we can go and acknowledge, like, hey, baby girl, hey, sweet little boy, I'm so sorry that, you didn't get to play as much and explore and go on adventures when you were little, but we can do that now. We can do that now, right? Be that parent, be that protector. Because I think deep inside, that little spark of, right, our seeking of who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's my passion? I think a lot of that is wrapped up in that with a little child that holds that spark, your true essence, the part of, the gift and the blessing that was uniquely given to you to bring onto this earth. Because I think when we are here doing our greatest work, right, it's very unique to you because you're the only one how this is going to be uniquely expressed in the world. And when we show up in that way, we are serving our mankind, we are serving our community, we are serving our family, right? We are serving our higher power, and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. So, never too late to get in touch with that inner child, that little girl or that little boy that didn't get a chance to play when they were young. Yes, exactly. Lots of wisdom. Lots of wisdom. So thank you so much for sharing, Sue. You're absolutely not alone. Not alone. So I want to challenge us a little bit because I think we are actually also more efficient and more productive and have way more to give once we give ourselves the gift of whether it's self-care or mindfulness or play, right? It's like then we get the juices flowing, the energy, the spark. We're happier. We're expansive. We're open. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, friend. I'm glad you're here. I'm sure you're noticing I'm talking to two groups of people. If you want to join the chat over on YouTube, the link is on my Periscope profile. So, but I'm so glad you're here. So glad to hear you're here. We're talking about play. We're talking about play. So thank you again, Sue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, friend, you are in good company. This is support for survivors of neglect, trauma, or abuse. So I'm glad you are here with us. I'm glad that you are here. Glad that you are here. Yes, of course. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Sending well wishes to Cindy. Hope you feel better, Cindy. Hey, Adam. Hey, friend. I'm glad you're here. Hey, friend. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. Yes, of course. Of course. Of course. So let's see. I was looking up, I had looked through the other thing that I really like about part of healing is to get back into play. I'm so sorry, friend. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. You're not alone. Is that, you know, we talked about, right, play, we talk a lot here about having to be perfect, right? And because play, here's a quote from Mr. Rogers, play is often talked about as if it were a relief from serious learning. But for children, play is serious learning. I like that. And when we play, we get out of no, not tonight, Wanda. We're out of the survival mode, right? When we're in the playful mode, we relax, we're more in the present moment. We are curious, we're open, we take risks because we aren't worried about it being perfect, right? We're just having that belly laugh. Just being silly in the moment, right? So it's a good mindfulness practice. It's very good mindfulness practice to come into the present moment, being silly. So thank you for asking, Wanda. Yes, I am doing a Facebook Live interview tomorrow. Thank you, friend. Feel free to ask a question. I'm able to scroll back to it if I miss it in the moment, but feel free to ask if you have any question. I'm happy to answer if I can. And Wanda asked, what time is the interview tomorrow? Tomorrow I am interviewing a colleague of mine, Elizabeth Kipp, who has written a book about chronic pain, the way through chronic tools to reclaim your healing power. So I've known Elizabeth for a few years. I've interviewed her in the past about pain, about chronic pain. And I love her book. Her and I speak the same language, meaning that we both believe in the healing power of the body and that there's so much that we can do to heal. So, and she also shares some important things about pharmaceuticals. She's very vulnerable in her book, talks about her healing journey, you know, with chronic pain and having been addicted to painkillers. And so it's a very powerful book and I love it. And I thought I would share it with my community. So I'm on my Facebook page tomorrow, 12 noon, Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be interviewing her about her book. So it's a very down-to-earth conversation, just like we're having now. And so if you have questions about chronic pain, if you can be there, great. Please come ask. But if you can't be there and if you have any questions that you would like me to ask her, feel free to send them to me and I will bring it up in my chat with her. So let's see. I had a friend here. Friend here on Periscope is asking, childhood abuse never bothered me until now that I'm 46. Why is it hitting me now? What can I do? What can I do to feel at peace? Tonight, I am reaching out for booze and drugs. I hear you, friend. Well, first of all, let me say I am very sorry that you were hurt in childhood. I am very sorry that that happened to you. And I also want to say you're not alone. You are not alone. So many of us go on for many, many, many years thinking it's okay, it's in the past, I should be over it, I'm functional, right? But what do we know now about the body is that the body, right, keeps the score. Your body is a history book of what happened to you. And we know that past trauma is stored in the body. And eventually, when something's maybe happening in our lives that kind of triggers either a memory or, you have a physical symptom of, the trauma, the chronic stress can manifest as a physical symptom, sickness, or just like I was talking about, chronic pain. Physical pain is actually emotional pain. Yes, it was triggered by a memory. Yeah. Then that's an invitation. That's your body raising up a red flag. It's like, hey, I know I've done a really good job disconnecting from the pain. And that's what your body does. It's beautifully hardwired to protect you, to keep you safe. And it will disconnect from the pain and repress it, even to the point that we don't remember what happened in childhood. And so for some of us, thank goodness, right, that we don't remember all of that. Your body disconnects. But when it throws up that flag, it's like, hey, right? I'm ready to talk about this. I need help in getting it out. So that's why it's important to find a safe place, therapist, a life coach, friend, a support group to be able to process, because our trauma impacts us. It impacts our inside world, then impacts our outside world. Our inside world, right? The thoughts and the feelings that we carry inside impact how we think about ourselves, that then impact how we feel about ourselves, that then impacts what do we believe about ourselves. And then when we walk through life with a filter set of beliefs about this is how the world is because of what we are feeling and believing inside, right? To make sense? Yes. So it is important to find a way to process, to let out, no matter how long ago it happened. Yes, there's a lot of people that will tell you, move on, forget it, it's all right. Like, right? Just makes me take a big sigh here. That is not helpful. It's not helpful, because inside of you are your wounds, right? And those wounds will fester until they get our attention, until we find a way. There you go. It's tattooed on our insides. Absolutely. And those scars, those scar tissues, unfortunately, can, get in the way. Can get in the way of us living a healthy, balanced, wholehearted, excited, joyful, peaceful, meaningful life as adults, when we're still carrying that baggage, that tension, that stress, that worry, that anxiety, that fear from all those years ago. So your body already, just as capable it was to protect you and keep you safe, it has all the tools that you need to heal, to move forward. It's just to understand how your body works, and understand how we can help ourselves. Some of it is by talking about it. Sometimes it's to get in touch with our feelings, expressing our hurt, loving that part of you that got hurt, healing that inner child, learning to navigate our sometimes a spin cycle that our mind can get us into, that negative thinking, and doing some energy work. Someone had just asked you earlier, I'm sorry I didn't answer that, about alternative healing. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of trying everything. We are multidimensional beings, and we need to heal all the aspects of us. Our physical selves, our emotional selves, our mental selves, our energy bodies. So, well, I can share with you my favorite tool. If you're looking at my hands right now, I'm going to cross them over and grasp the thumbs, and I'm going to lay them on my chest here by my shoulders, and I'm going to tap lightly. Someone just asked me here for a quick tool that could help them with maybe a little bit of anxiety right now. So go ahead, and as you're seeing, I'm tapping. You're welcome, friend. And please join our conversation anytime. Any questions, any support we can give you, because you're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. I'm here usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So as you can see here, I'm tapping back and forth, right? We're crossing our midline on our brain. It helps to lower the stress in the body. Yes, this is bilateral stimulation, Rachel. It is good for anxiety. So just notice the longer you do this, that maybe your breath slows down, your shoulders start to drop, right? Just keep going, and you may start all of a sudden feel the urge to take a deep breath. You can also do this put your hands on your lap and do this on your knees. So secretly, when no one can notice, you can do this at work or at school, right? It helps. So that's a quick tip for you, my friend, for tonight. So thank you for asking. Abuse is never our fault. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right about that. So I pulled a card for us, like I always do, and it's always perfect. One day he or she woke up and restored balance in her life. So I don't know if this card is for you tonight, but how about restoring balance? As much as we work hard, right? Let's bring a little more joy and play into our life. If we don't have an hour every day, can we do 5 minutes? Can we do 5 minutes? Because a playful nervous system is a happy nervous system. You can't be, right? If we're playful, we are relaxed. It helps us to relax, and most of our bodies are so tense and so tight because we are fighting for our lives. Rightly so for many of us. Okay, right here, right now, we can come back into balance. Come back into balance. Sometimes one breath at a time. Well, thank you, sweet friends. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful hearts and spirits with all of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you, Sue. Sending hugs right back to all of you. Again, if you're here and watching and don't know what the heck we're doing, we're working our way through my book one day, one page at a time. We do that online in a closed group on Facebook, and we're here on Periscope and YouTube Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we would love to have you join us anytime you can. Please do. Awesome. Thanks, friend. I look forward to seeing you next time. So you're welcome. Have a beautiful night, everyone. Remember, do something that sparks joy, and I'll see you back Thank you. I'll see you guys back here on Thursday. Have a good night, everyone.